Hello, my name's Jen Moss and I'm one of the careers team at Framwellgate School in Durham. We're really lucky to have a team of 3 of us leading on careers, together with the assistant head who is our named careers lead. I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about how we're finding the new CDI framework and how we're planning to use it in our careers provision here. So just to give you an idea of how we deliver careers, so you can see where we've come from in terms of how we use the CDI framework. We have fortnightly careers sessions, 2 half-hour sessions per fortnight delivered through our tutorial programme. So the sessions are delivered by the students' tutors. And also in those sessions on other days of the week, they cover things like study skills, RSE and citizenship as well. So in preparation for delivering those sessions, we used the old CDI framework. We broke down the learning outcomes that are included in the old framework and used them to then kind of rebuild the scheme of work that we wanted to deliver, covering all of the topics that the CDI framework suggested, although perhaps not in quite the level of detail that we would have liked. For us, one of the most important focuses was on embedding key skills as part of the careers programme, so making a focus for students on the essential skills that they develop right through their lives in their curriculum, extracurricular and personal lives as well, and on how those are important transferable skills that will help them in their career development in the future. And we chose to use the 8 skills that are identified by Skills Builder, which also cross over with the Unifrog competencies, because we use Unifrog in school. So the new CDI framework came out before we'd even managed to deliver our old scheme of work due to the school closures, etc., over the last academic year. But we're really excited to get the new CDI framework and to have a look at how it was going to impact on what we had planned. And what we found was, in reality, as you can imagine, lots of the content does remain the same. So we haven't had to drastically change the content of the sessions that we were planning to deliver. But what we probably have done is maybe shift the focus a little bit. But the main reason that we haven't had to drastically change the programme is because the new themes that are emerging through the new CDI framework are themes that really cross over with stuff that we're already doing through PSE and through the tutor programme that I've already discussed in terms of citizenship, RSE, study skills, and everything that we do for students in student development. So what we found that we actually need to do next is to look at our scheme of work, but also look at the schemes of work for the tutor programme and for PSE, and to establish where the different learning outcomes from the CDI framework are being covered, and then to address any gaps from there. So there are a few new things that we found that we need to add into next year's career programme. But a lot of the things that we've been saying for a long time need to be part of the careers programme and that we were delighted to see included in the new CDI framework. Things like well-being and resilience and those kind of topics. They are being covered already in school. It's just a case of joining the dots. I say it's just about joining the dots, like that's the easiest thing in the world, but as well we know sometimes getting the left arm to know what the right arm is doing in school can be a real challenge. So there are challenges and things that we're needing to think about, but in the most part they are real opportunities to achieve something that we've been wanting to achieve for a long time. So one thing is, how do we make the link where we know a learning outcome from the framework is being covered in another curriculum area? How do we make the link back to careers without having to repeat ourselves? And sometimes that's just a case of knowing the schemes and saying, okay, year 7 are doing this in PSE this week, let's drop in a career session that's going to build on their knowledge and link it back to career development for them. Really though, what we really want to achieve is to get students and staff to have a better understanding of the broader purpose of what we're trying to do with careers education. And I think those 6 learning areas, the 6 strands that are identified by the CDI in the framework are fantastic, really useful. And if we can get students and staff to know those and to become familiar with them, then they will start to see how the other things that they're doing in their wider curriculum and in their lives are linked to their career development, and they will start to join the dots themselves. So it's about moving past that traditional idea of that careers education is about, jobs awareness and progression routes, and that's about it, and move towards that more holistic idea of transferable skills and self-awareness and all of those rich topics that are covered in the new CDI framework. Communication between staff is going to be a big one. And once you start getting involved with PSE and the tutorial programme, and we're talking about a lot of different stakeholders and members of staff within school who've all got a bit of this in their portfolio somewhere, and we all need to understand what everyone else is trying to achieve in order to do it really well. So that's something that we're going to have to work on. And linked in with that, how do we then track and record topics that we're relying on other members of staff to kind of cover it within their curriculum? How do we know that we think Year 9 have done this because they've done it on paper, but in reality they were on a trip that day, so they didn't? How do we pick up those kind of issues, and link to that, what do we want to record through Compass Plus, and how do we go about doing that where we're relying on other members of staff to deliver? So lots to think about, but we're really excited about developing all of these things, and just absolutely thrilled that the CDI framework is recognised in all of these broad areas that we've been saying we want to cover, and now we've got the framework in place there that allows us to incorporate and make really clear to students how important things like their well-being, their self-awareness, their awareness of the bigger picture of how society works, how that all fits in with their career development and is going to help them in the future. So we're looking forward to getting started and really hoping for a full year next year to deliver our programme with any interruption.